Reciprocity or transfer of trust are always hot topics in the security clearance process, but if you have or obtain a security clearance in the US, does that grant you reciprocity to see classified information from other countries? Hi, this is Lenny Kaiser with clearancejobs.com. I got that question a while back relating to reciprocity and if that existed within the Five Eyes, the Strategic Intelligence Alliance within the US, or possibly with other countries. If you obtain a security clearance in the US, is that going to give you reciprocal access to classified information at the same classification level in another country? Short answer, at least for the US, no. There is not a carte blanche reciprocity policy or reason that, hey, if you have a classification at the same level, that grants you access to classified information at another level, at least for seeing information into the US system. So UK has its own security clearance process. Australia has a security clearance process. A lot of allies in other countries have their own security clearance processes. This is actually a hot topic right now. We've been talking about it, clearance jobs, because Japan is in the process of creating an industrial security clearance program for that reason of information sharing. The not having a security clearance process for private industry does actually make it harder to share information with the US. What information we share is going to be somewhat based on the vetting or security clearance process of another country, but using the terms reciprocity or transfer of trust or having any kind of a reciprocal relationship, just having a security clearance is not going to open doors to saying, hey, you can get access to this. It is, again, shows that a country is committed to that. The US and other countries do have processes for sharing information. But like we talk a lot about the security clearance process, there's classification at the document level and then at what the person has access to. So classification markers will designate what other countries can actually have access or see information. Or there is a no foreign designation came up with the documents that Donald Trump allegedly had in his possession, seeing some of those classification markers. That actually means that foreign countries cannot have access or see that information. But again, we're talking about the documents. When it comes to people or personnel security, what a country is going to do is require some kind of vetting specific to that country. So for the US specifically, we have limited access authorizations that can give other people access to classified information who maybe are not US citizens, but it's not saying a reciprocal, hey, you're in the UK, you have a top secret security clearance, here you go, you have access to top secret security clearance documents in the US. So reciprocity, transfer of trust, that applies to the US internal community. No, it does not apply to international or foreign countries. There's somebody who's going to comment here about NATO security clearance processes and all of that. Yes, that's a separate bucket. But what we're saying is, again, reciprocity and transfer of trust are not terms that will be used, in my experience, to apply to what you can see internationally or the international sharing of documents. Every country is going to have their own process for vetting individuals and not accepting a reciprocal, hey, you have this, that gives you access to this at the same level. Because countries have their own classification programs and policies and do those things differently. So for more on this, visit us over at clearancejobs.com.